You are not a girl's girl. I'm joking. I'm sure that most of you who actually press on this video are trying to be a girl's girl, or is a girl's girl, or is someone who's like, well, how can I be a better girl's girl? So girls is a woman who is empathetic towards their friendship, who values their friendship and the relationship around them. And there are some qualities like being compassionate, being respectful, authenticity, having boundaries, and empowerment. So those things I'll talk a little bit more later when we talk further into girls and my experience with girls as well, and maybe you can relate to some parts that I'm talking about, or you can feel free to share your experience as a girls in the comments.
Hi guys, editing Christina here. So I kind of wanted to clarify and make my point so clear and my intention so clear on what I wanted to convey with this video. And it's not to attack anyone, to be like, well, you're not perfect because you're not girls. You're not perfect because you have insecurities, and hence that's why, you've adopted this feeling of feeling jealous and like hating every girl that you see successful, or pitting each other against each other. But it's coming more from a place of compassion and understanding that, damn, like, these are the things that have been instilled in us, and these are the things that, we as well can do for ourselves, for, our fellow female friends, to practice trying to uplift each other without feeling like we are less, because you are not less, guys. Like, it's something I also always have to constantly tell myself, because, you'll see it throughout this video why we kind of have this mindset of like, oh, like it's either you're something or you're nothing, or you're pretty or you're ugly, and hence that contributes to the cycle of, well, I want to share you, but deep down, I want you to lose. I want you to like be hurt. I want you to be like, I want you to be sad, or like taking a dig out of each other, instead of practicing being truly compassionate, truly sincere, truly happy for the other person, which also is something that I practice every single day. And nobody's perfect, all right? I get it. Nobody's perfect. And so I kind of just wanted to dive into the topic so that we can truly learn more, understand more, be more aware, practice more to be better for ourselves as well, and people we love who surround us.
Okay, number one, being supportive. I know you're like, being supportive, what? We sometimes neglect being supportive during the bad timings, during the times when things seem to be not going too well. It's always so nice and comforting to hear from someone that, you got this, you will be so proud of yourself. Isn't it so nice to just hear that? To just be like, someone really believes in me. Someone really trusts that I'm able to do it and I'm able to reach my goals. I remember hearing it just even from strangers as well when I first started YouTube, and I remember these group of girls. One of the girls literally came up to me and said, I love your videos so much. And she's like, no, like this is not even like just praising. There was so much conviction in her word that I was truly, wow, this is how it feels like to be supportive. You know what I mean? But truly being sincere and being compassionate. And I'll give you an example of how being compassionate really affects people's lives. Okay, so you know how when you go into public hospitals, right? You see the crankiest nurse, you see the crankiest doctors. And a lot of times when you are with people who are hospitalized, or people who are dealing with like terminal sickness, terminal illness, or dealing with, some really intense stuff, like physical stuff that is happening to their body. And to hear or be surrounded by people in the healthcare world who treat you basically like a dog. I understand, because, blame the system, don't blame the person, because like they're trying their best. But it's so important to a person's life when they're at their most vulnerable state to be surrounded by an environment that fosters here. When you're physically sick, this is the only thing that's keeping you alive, that's keeping you fighting, because you allow your compassion to shine through. Maybe you could save a person's life. That's all I'm getting to. So that's why I feel like compassion is such an important thing that we learn. Now that I kind of a little bit talked about compassion, I kind of want to talk about authenticity. If I don't like a person, let's say I don't like this person, I'm not gonna be two-faced and be like all nice and up and cuddly with you while I talk shit about you behind the doors. I think that's so disrespectful, and I think it's just not genuine. It's not a kind of friendship I want to be in as well. I think it just reeks of jealousy. It reeks of insecurity. It reeks of toxicity, and it's something I don't want to engage in. And so instead of, if you have a person you don't like, it's either you block them, all right? You don't want to be associated with them, you block them. You slowly distance yourself and you're like, hey, I'm not free, and let time pass. Or you just not talk shite about people. Just leave it at that. If they want to live their life like that, let them live their life like that. Oh wow, sounds like me. You're not in a position to control somebody else's life but your own. Okay, you can suggest whatever, but you cannot control somebody else's life. Why are you being up and all about that? Why are you wasting your time talking about them, having them on your mind 24 hours? Why are you putting all that toxic stuff around yourself when you could be doing so much better things with your time?
Can you believe I'm still editing this video? I bring this point up specifically because I feel like, sometimes when we don't like someone, or when we hate someone, I try to steer away from the word hate because it's such a strong word. And anyways, when we dislike someone, we have this tendency to be obsessed with hating them. And what I want you guys to do is, why? You can't control their life. I heard from one podcast, right? If you aren't going to be there, and if you're going to critique someone, if you're not going to help them change, then don't do it, girl. Don't do it, queen. Don't do it. Why waste your time, man? Like, put that energy back into you. It's okay to dislike someone, by all means. It's okay to not like someone. It's okay to not be friends with someone. But the fact that you take so much time to spew hatred and just hate, bullying, harassment, like, don't do it. Just like, okay, acknowledge the fact that you don't like the person, that you want to distance yourself from the person, and that's it. Like, you don't have to be like, this person, I hate them so much because they're stupid, or I hate this person so much because la-di-da-di-da. Okay, you don't like this person. Okay, ew, girl, not my vibe. Gives me the ick, gives me the heebie-jeebies. Out, done. Okay, back to yourself, back to your life. Yeah.
At the end of the day, why are we surrounding ourselves with things that aren't going to uplift us, things that aren't going to make our life better, things that are just gossip, toxicity, all those things? Like, is that the kind of person we want to be? Probably not, right? But why are we still surrounded by people who are like that? And is that suggesting something? Being respectful and setting boundaries. What does it mean to be respectful? Is to ask yourself, maybe, is what I'm doing useful, needed, should be said, or does anything good? I think that's something we all have to ask ourselves. For example, she has a green leaf right in the middle of her teeth. Of course, I'm gonna be like, hey, like, you have something like green stuck in your teeth. And you're, okay, okay, that's looking out for each other. But being like, oh my god, you look like you gained weight. Oh my god, you look like the freaking moon. Like, girl, is that really a respectful thing to say to someone else? Why? Just like we can value and be respectful of each other by refraining from saying things, or the first thing that comes up in our mind, or making sure that we think before we say something, and that when we say something, it's respectful, and just common decency and being compassionate, and whatever we talked about just now. For example, if you're talking about something controversial or something that someone else's opinion might not be the same as yours, but you're like, hey, like, no, I totally see where you're coming from, but in the same time, I don't really agree, but I respect that that is your opinion and this is my opinion, and that we both can have our own opinion, and you can do your thing and I can do my thing. Things like listening without judging is also you being respectful, listening to what someone has to say without judging them right away, without being like, I'm gonna crucify you, you're a shitty person, I hate you, you're a bad person for doing this. But really understand and be compassionate and respectful of, okay, yeah, I see you did that. That was bad. I personally I don't agree with what you did, and I think, yeah, it's something that you have to reflect on, but I also understand it and acknowledge that not everybody is a perfect person, and I can't wait to see you grow from whatever mistake you've done, instead of being like and not be respectful towards your friend or towards the people you are around. Okay, last but not least, boundaries. It's something I wanted to yap about, alright? Boundaries. You can still be all of what I told you and still have a boundary, alright? I'll give you a good example. I've had an incident that happened this past few weeks where I was basically a mediator for someone. And you know, obviously when you're in the middle of a fight between two people, one of them or the other side or the other part of you will always try to get you to be on their side, all right? It's like, girl. And so having boundaries is so important. And so when this other person was like, yeah, like this person is so bad, did this to me, I had to straight up tell the person and said, you know, I understand how you feel, and I understand that the other party was not really nice to you and shouldn't have said those things. I understand. But at the end of the day, your experiences aren't my experiences. Therefore, I will still talk to the other party and understand you both from both sides. I'm not taking any sides here, and that is my boundary. And I know you're trying to convince me that I should like hate this person or feel this way about a person indirectly, but at the end of the day, I understand you both have your own sides. There's always two sides to a story, you guys. I set my boundaries firmly and clearly that I am not gonna take how this person feels about the other person and feel like that. Anyways, damn girl, I've been yapping away by myself, alright? And I don't know how this video is gonna turn out, but that's kind of what I've compiled from this video of you're not a girl's girls, but how can you be a girl's girls? I think in a world where we're all pitting against each other, literally WWEing each other, why don't we try to become more aware, trying to understand our own insecurities and how we can all win, alright? You see a girl win, it doesn't mean that you aren't gonna win. It doesn't mean you aren't gonna succeed. It doesn't mean that you are nothing, alright? Being compassionate, being inclusive, being empathetic of each other so that we can all win, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're in this stimulation. At the end of the day, we're all living this life and we're all just trying to get by, right? And I don't only mean the girls, I also mean the boys. I also mean the boys, girls, and the LGBTQ plus. No, I think everybody can practice this regardless of your gender. Because of one thing I made, it inspired someone else to do and find something that they enjoy. And that was me, you know, like, so it's really grateful, and I want to look at it from a perspective of, wow, I'm so glad for that girl, and I'm so glad that I was able to have a little change, contribute to a change in the world. Changing the world, you know what I mean? So yeah, that makes me really happy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of You're Not a Girl's Girl. Anyways, that's all for the videos today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!